Disclaimer. Hello everyone, and for this video, we have some new information on the Beyblade X August releases. So, let's get right into this. I do want to quickly mention, if you want to get your pre-orders for this stuff, mallofbays.com. It's an optional way to support the channel. I appreciate any support regardless, and let us get into it. So, let us first start off with the release date, which is August 10th. So, mark it on your calendars. So for our first release, it is Leon Crest. Now the original Leon Claw was a balance type. This time they made it a defense type, which is a little bit odd of a switch, but whatever. It's cool to see them kind of do different ways of variants, not just having it be the same typing, like now it's different types. I think that's pretty cool. We did kind of get a hint of this in the manga earlier on, because obviously King has been improving with his Bey, and it kind of makes sense for Leon to do this ship to defense, considering it was his literal failure in his Common X match that he tried to rely on defense and could not work. So I think it kind of makes sense if you were just to switch it around and just have a different option. Though, the shape of it looks very, very interesting to say the least. For starters, obviously the blade is focused on all the idea of 7, so it seems to be pretty thick. 7 points on the blade, and overall, because this is a defense type, to see how really thick it is, because it's like this, I'm kind of strangely hyped for the Leon, only for the reason that defense has been getting clapped for so long because of bad weight. Now, if you do look at the side profile that they kind of have for this, I guess the idea is going to really be pushing on this idea of how wide the blade is, which is, again, this is a smart gimmick to do for a defense type, to make it very, very wide, so that way, I don't know, it's going to be, it has to be wide and heavy. I would have to make that assumption, so that way that it's going to be hard for attackers to try to push it out of the stadium. It can hold its ground well. Maybe with the combination of all of its parts, it's going to be maybe heavy and maybe be able to repel attacks and maybe also do some counter movement potentially. They really gotta sell this Leon to really make it like crazy. I'll lose hope at this point if this isn't heavy, because there's no way it isn't. It looks super, super thick for the blade. Please, just make the Leon 35. We'll move on to some of the other stuff, which is 760. Not really much else to say in this portion. 760 just seems to be, obviously, one, they're trying to make it match the shape on the blade, and also, I guess, I don't know, it should probably have good burst resistance just based on the shape, at least looking at it. That's at least what I'm gonna go by for it. I don't know, probably maybe as good as 960 if it's as small and rounded off. It seems probably gonna be solid. Then Gear Needle. Gear Needle only works if the blade is heavy. So that's kind of it. It's focused on the extreme dash for counter movement, so if they're trying to have Leon do this counter movement in battle, then maybe it can work if it's heavy. If it's not, it's just going to be a repeat of Sphinx. Moving on, we have our another UX Bey, since obviously we just had the previous UX booster with Leon, the Phoenix Rudder. So, holy shit, this looks so crazy, dude. For starters, I love the look of this. Maybe not like the design on the chip. It kind of deviates a lot from the previous ones, but the red paint and everything, the whole theme, red's my favorite color, so I'm very biased in this, but it looks really, really good. Looks really, really good. Now, it's very well rounded off. So basically, if you want me to try to give my best way to try to define what the gimmick on this thing is, what it seems to be, one, they say it's like, what is it, like an inverted trapezoid shape or whatever. I think the idea here is it's supposed to stand still and hold its posture while it's holding its ground and still slamming into the opponents, taking away their stamina. So I guess the idea of like Viper Tail, but I assume this should be to a greater extent. Honest, the best way I can describe this is kind of like if you juiced up Wyvern Gale, because it kind of just feels like a way more buffed version in the general shape and the design. I do like that it does have the paint, so I think that's pretty cool. They kind of kept that from the Phoenix. More surprised Cobalt didn't, in all honesty. One of the more surprising things to mention, this is a stamina type blade. Burn, I guess, just was developing this, and I mean, this was hinted towards in the manga. They did have a new Bey in development. Interesting to say the least. It's still somewhat aggressive of a shape, but a lot more rounded off, which I do have a little bit of issues with this, and I'll kind of get into this a little bit later, but we do have 970. Again, 9 sides is the best sides, rounded off and whatever, so anything for 70 height, you just do 970. And then after you get a new bit, which is Glide. Now, Glide has some new material on it. The material on it is, by the way, Pulm. Kind of like the friction tip from Revive Phoenix and Burst. Probably gonna try to reduce as much friction as possible, and then after not get as pushed around easily and maintain its posture, like holding still. Otherwise, I mean, it's pretty exciting to have a new bit, so that's pretty cool, I guess. The other bays in this for the UX set is Wyvern Gale 260 Spike. So Wyvern Gale, sure, cool recolor. 260, awesome. The other reprint. Why Spike? That's an L on TAKARA TOMY. I don't like that. You get a blue Sphinx cowl, which has the parts of 180 gear flat. And the colors like drawn sword for like the Sphinx cowl. 180, sure, and gear flat, sure. Not really much else to say. I think overall the selling point on this is obviously going to be the Phoenix Bay. I do want to also throw this that we did get a little bit of pictures for kind of the parts and colors, whatever. I actually think it's a pretty nice choice of colors for the parts. A lot of it looks pretty cool. Like, I'm going to definitely use that 160 probably on my Drawn Buster stuff. But yeah, you get some basic other stuff, like just the abilities and a more HD of like the side profile. And again, Phoenix just feels like it's going to be pretty scary if the weight's going to be big on it. And we move on to the end, which is Aero Pegasus. Yes, we have heard about this before. So it seems at the end of this month, right, we're going to start to see them open up the campaign, I guess, I'm pretty sure. So this is a Rare Bay Get Battle. I know some were hoping it wasn't. It was very obvious this was going to be a Rare Bay Get Battle. I want to pull it, man. I'm tired of this gacha shit, but I've been saving up points. I got really lucked out of the Hell's Chain, which I shouldn't even wasted the points on. I hope I can get some luck out of this. Oh yeah, by the way, there's this lottery Cobalt Dragoon. It's impossible to get. I just figured just to show it, just because honestly, it's probably one of the lottery bays always get the best color scheme, whatever. I'm a little pissed I can't actually get this because it's like it's gonna be such a limited quantity. I don't know. It's some like show whatever, you have to get it, and then after, if you get lucky to get the rates to maybe get that 1 in 100, or maybe I'll just see it in this one. I don't know. It depends how much I'm editing in this, but. Yeah, I think overall, August seems we're really betting on defense to make a comeback with Leon, and we're hoping that Phoenix isn't going to get too scary, because I'm just going to say this now, and I'm going to save this for the other video, but if you have a heavy blade, like Phoenix already was decently dominating, but it had shit stamina. For the most part, shit stamina, attack was good, but that was like one of the things, right? If you have the thing now where it still can do the attack, but a lot more stamina, I'm gonna be a little bit scared. I hope to God that thing is not 38 grams, because otherwise, you're gonna have to start applying these limited rule sets of like, giving a negative start to whoever has these bays. Like for an example, if I use this new Phoenix bay, it's gotta be like, just if I'm having the blade alone, like minus, like +1 to the opponent. But yeah, that's kind of it for this video. So what are your thoughts on the Phoenix? What are your thoughts on the Leon Claw? Let me know, let me know, let me know. I just want to say thank you all for watching. That'll be it for now. More videos eventually. Take care and bye.